Hey YouTube, you can tell it's a wet, muddy mess out here, so we're gonna do something a little different today. Ask the guys to lay out some different types of equipment so we can compare and contrast, look at hobby versus commercial, answer some questions we've had, and maybe help some people figure out what they want to do, which direction they want to go. So we got backyard hobbyists, beekeepers, beekeeping equipment lined up. And we've got some commercial equipment lined up on pallets. And the reason we use pallets is so that we can transport them with forklifts. If you've watched our videos, you've seen us moving hives around. For backyard beekeepers, hobbyist beekeepers, they don't have to do that. So Uncle Marty here is gonna start pulling this one apart. And they sit on bottom boards. Typically these bottom boards will sit on a cinder blocks or some kind of raised platform, maybe 18 inches off the ground, a foot off the ground. That helps with various varmints and pests. So this is the bottom board. There's actually, let me flip this over. Okay. So there's two settings on a lot of these bottom boards. There's a real narrow setting and a higher setting. Just be aware if you got one of those. This is a deep. It's gonna be acting as the brood chamber. And then what do you got up top here?
We've got top feeder.
Top feeder, and then there's different components of this. The bees can come up here. This is a ladder. They can come in and out. The syrup comes up to here. And what are these little doodads? And so these work good. We'll go to another style top feeder in a minute. So this one's got a lid that's it can be a migratory lid. We don't like this style for what we do for stacking. It's got a recessed place in here. So I'm gonna take this off. So if this is sitting on top of the hive, there's the frames in here. There's enough room for a pollen patty. There's enough room for a pollen patty to go on top of the frame. And it's fitting that lid without squishing it down all the way in that recessed area. So we like those. We use a different style lid. I'll come over here real quick. This one's a little different. It's flush top. It works good because we stack on top of we stack pallets on top of each other for transport. It's got the recessed area too. Wax builds up in here. Clean that out. You can see the frames, and then we'll talk about the feeder in just a second. So this setup's sitting on a commercial pallet. Again, these are used for transporting to pollination or to various yards. This one has a wide open bottom, and Martell's got a couple of different entrance reducers. We run them wide open most of the time because we're in Texas. Different climates require different kinds of setups. This entrance reducer can squeeze in here and reduce it down. We turn them that way so it's tight. Then there's a wooden entrance reducer. You can see that there's notches for the bees to travel through, or very small neck down. And then there's different setups as far as some of these bottom boards and whatnot. They just have a entrance that's reduced greatly. You can see it on some of these pallets, maybe. Like this one has got a built-in reducer. There's different parts of the country, different regions, and different ideas how to do it. Commercial pallet. So again, this one's wide open. These are W clips. There's a U clip and a W clip. We like the W clip because this bracketing holds the box into place, locks into place. And we drill holes down here. So if this pallet's sitting with maybe a little bit of an angle and water's collecting back here, it can drain down these holes. You got to clean these out periodically. You got to clean this rail out. Lots of rot, debris gets stuck here. Some people like this open so that the water doesn't build up here. Some people like it closed. We have both types of pallets. Weeds, different stuff comes up this way. This also makes it harder to grab and transport. You do got to clean these holes out from time to time. And this one has a little drain channel too that you got to clean out from time to time. This is how it locks into place. Okay, we talked about the top hive feeder. This is a feeder that's in frame. It takes up 2 frames of space, and then there can be 8 frames in here. So you have your brood, resources, in-hive feeder. This is a plastic ladder, if I can pull it out. What this does is it allows bees to climb up on the inside here and climb down into the syrup and get a drink of the feed. You got to clean this out from time to time and then go back over and distribute to the hive. It's really nice because it also doesn't induce a lot of robbing. You can feed each hive. You can do this in a commercial or a hobby application. And the nice thing is on these pallets for you commercial beekeepers, go ahead and slide that back. You can set the lid just like that for feed them. So we like to run the feeder on the inside of the hives, of the pallets, of the hive configuration, so that we can just slide them back and feed. Works out really easy. Here's another style in-hive feeder. This is called a mother load. The other one's a man-like product. Same principle. Bees can crawl down there as the syrup level gets drawn down. The bees just travel down to it, and you can come and fill it up as well. This is another version of bottom board, and let's flip that. This is a screened bottom board, and you can run it with this in. You can see the gridding. You can do various treatments, and you can see how many mites die off with your treatment to see how effective it is. It's all gridded out. You can run these open, and when the mites fall off, they can fall down through here. Good ventilation in Texas. Some people run these year-round, even with them open, because the bees generate a lot of warmth, cluster up. But I would think that if it gets cold, you want to slide this little insert back into place. This is a corrugated plastic insert, and that completes your bottom board. Again, we don't use these. This is more hobbyist sideliner, not for transport or easy transport. This one has a medium super, and we run all. Can we get another frame too from the other size frame to compare it? So we run all the same deep equipment size, and we do that. Thank you. We do that because we want uniformity in where honey's stored, brood is stored, because we don't want to have mixed equipment sizes. It just makes it too complicated for us. The pros about medium supers is the size and the weight. So if this is full of honey, it's a lot lighter and easier to manage, easier to hold. But one of the big disadvantages, again, is if you allow the brood to come up in here, you can't move this to another hive. So you're limited on how you can move frames between hives. So we stick with all this for our commercial application. But a lot of people do mediums differently. So there's a lot of opinions. It's what we do, but these are great. They're very common. People can run them with an excluder so that the brood doesn't get up top, and that works out really well too. So here's an inner hive cover and a telescoping lid. And so what this does, it's got a little ventilation, and it's got a shallow side. And this one looks like it's uniform. I've seen some that have a shallow side and a deep side. You can place that over, and then there's the telescoping lid that completely covers. It sits down on top of, very secure. This one's got a nice metal top to it. Lasts a long time. We do not run these. One of the disadvantages for us is you can see this one. Slide that lid over. So if we have a hive and a hive next to each other, we can't run this telescoping lid over here because of the overhang. So if we had two next to each other, these won't work. So we can't use those for what we're doing, but a lot of people choose to go with these. It's very common. It's good quality equipment.
built-in reducer.
Built-in reducer. So this is another version of commercial pallet. It's got some old school clips in it. So they don't have that raised W section in the middle. They've got a built-in reducer, what you showed over there. Now some of these pallets that we've acquired over the years, they'll have the entrance to these over on this side, and we don't like that for a couple reasons, but I know there's some advantages because you could all face them on the downhill side, but we don't like it. We breed our own queens, and somebody that we really respect says that they've had horrible luck in the queens coming back made it into the ones that are facing the inside back of the hives. That's just an opinion. I don't have any hard data to back it up, but we respect Dan's view, and so that's how we run it. And what do we got set up here?
Double D.
Double D, and
Deep with
so 10 frames of equipment on bottom, 8 on top. Got the feeder in the middle like we talked about, and this is the recessed lid. This is what we run on our hives. This works out great. This is fairly standard for pollination. There's variations. People do a little different here and there. This is by no means the only way. It's just what we choose. So this, again, bottom board, mixed equipment, pros and cons, weight versus versatility. What do you got there?
beetle trap.
Beetle trap. Tell us about that.
Well, yeah, we don't use a lot of these too often, but they do work. You get the small hive beetles in your hive during a moist, rainy season. This one, I believe, has maybe 7. No, I don't know what they put in this one, but some kind of attractant, and so the beetles going down there, and they basically get trapped in there, and it'll reduce the numbers in your hive. Reduce the number of beetles in your hive. Yeah.
I've seen these filled up with an oil too, and that traps the beetles. And then some people will use an unscented dryer towel to trap beetles on. And so there's a lot of different approaches to it. Maybe you'll be fortunate and not have a beetle problem. That's the yards we like the best. Here's some other stuff. What is this?
This is a frame spreader.
For
usually for a honey super, when you run nine frames instead of, we normally run 9 frames on our honey supers.
So
you run 9 frames in here, and you get the spacing equal, so they draw it out nice and equal.
So the advantages to this is you can run it all the way, and it spaces 9 frames in a 10 frame box. So whenever they draw this comb out, it ends up being drawn out quite a bit thicker. So each one of those cells that contains honey can be a lot taller, and the wax, when you go to cut the wax off the top, it comes off really nice. You get a lot of cappings out of it, and you only have to process 9 versus 10 frames. It's pretty awesome, and that little tool really does help. We've already laid out some hive tools here. This one is what is most commonly associated with beekeeping. You see a lot of these. We started with these. It's got a good scraper. I don't like the lifter. You want to show the lifter and how it works? I have to hold this camera.
Yeah.
Here, I'll take that one too. So you can pry it up and you can lift it. It's not my favorite, but a lot of people use it. It's personal preference. This one's a J hook. And
J hook, yeah, it works. Use it that way, or
that's the feature I like right there.
right there.
Almost like a claw hammer.
Lift it up.
Got a nail puller on it.
Yep.
And I like the end of the tool. Works good. And what I like, show those two side by side. I don't like this one because it hangs in my pocket. So I just quickly moved away from this one over to this one. This is a frame puller. And
Let's go back to this one, Mike.
Okay.
I'll show you one more feature on this one. When you're cleaning frames, it fits just right in here to clean wax out in the top and bottom bars.
Oh, isn't that nice?
You can scrape your stuff out there. That's got a lot more options on that one than
the standard beginner. I call it a beginner. I shouldn't call it a beginner hive tool, 'cause a lot of people like these. Too bad you don't have a heated one of these for cleaning out those wax troughs. Show us this other thing you got here. What is this?
This is a
frame grabber
remover, but it also has a tool on it, kind of same as the Hive tool, where you move your frames apart, and then you can grab a hold of your frame and pull it out. And,
so you can really pull them up easy, and it's nice. I used one years ago. I didn't like it was bulky in my pocket, and for what we're doing, it just isn't great for going. So we land on this one. That's what everybody carries here. There's also a mini one that I know a guy. It's about that long, and it's got a little pointy end, and he loves it. I've tried it. I couldn't get it out of my pocket fast enough. So these are the three options. You'll see them, and there's a lot more options, out there. So yeah, it's personal preference, personal choice. Martel laid out 4 smokers. You want to go over these real quick?
Sure. All right. This is basically the standard. What you see a lot of people use, a dome top. It doesn't hold a lot of material, but it does have an easy access screen to pull out. It has a little all thread where you can pull it out.
Pull it out.
Clean the bottom of it,
So there's down the bottom of it, there's air that goes in that bottom, and these bellows drive air down through this bottom hole right there. This screen goes in. I don't know if I can do that. I can't do it through this camera. Screen goes down there, holds the fuel up so that airflow can get to it, and then this closes, of course, and pumps, and the smoke comes out this tip right here. What else you got?
Yeah, same deal, a little bit different top. So the dome, the standard top, works the same way.
Okay.
Doesn't hold a whole lot. Good for backyard beekeepers, hobbyists. These are the ones that we normally use. They're a lot taller, 9-inch or 10-inch, whatever.
So this will burn for a lot longer, basically.
A lot longer. Then they got these custom models like this are a real soft touch. You can work all day with it, and your hand won't get tired.
And it's a plastic bellows.
Yeah, plastic bellows. They also come with and without these guards. I would suggest getting a guard.
The guard's super nice.
A lot of folks, they'll be working their hive and hold it between their legs, and if you don't have a guard on there, it's not comfortable.
Yeah, and this can get quite hot. So, warning, you can get burned. So the guards are just essential in my opinion. Yeah, good deal. Here's a little bonus equipment. This is not our idea by any stretch of the imagination. You want to pull out this frame for me? So this is a 2-frame mini mating nuc. It holds 2 frames. It's got an entrance over here, and it's got little ledges where those frames rest. It's got a vent in the back, little handle, and it's got an entrance, and you can actually set this entrance. Oh, well, normally you can set this entrance, but this one's really tight, so you can spin this around to where air flows through, or where this is a queen reducer, so the queen can't come out of this box. So it's nice for transport. You can stack a whole bunch of these side by side. Here is the little lid. It's got some little stops so it doesn't slide off. And then there is how you feed it. Put a feed right on top of it, and away you go. So we use these to breed queens, to make queens, I should say. And you can see that we like them. We use them. We built a lot of them. You can see that there's a lot of equipment choices. Hey, thank you all for laying this out. I appreciate it. Thanks for going through that stuff. You can see there's a lot of equipment choices, and you know, everybody has a preference. You know, just because we do it one way doesn't mean it's the best way for you. So just be educated. There's lots of opinions out there for you to research and, you know, make the best choices. We've definitely made some choices that worked for us for a while, and then we decided we needed to go a different way, or what we want to do required a different approach. So, you know, we've done a lot of it. It's a lot of fun. Enjoy.